You pick it, it causes you pain because it's got thorns and it's got stinging properties and all of that. But imagine if the child had run in to the kitchen and had presented her mother with something that caused her some pain. Now, how would the mother have reacted and responded to that? It would have touched her heart very deeply. Here is her daughter offering her an offering, a little gift, and it has caused her pain. The mother would console her. And she'd probably still take that stinging nettle or that thistle or the poison ivy or whatever the equivalent might be here in Texas and place it on the windowsill with all those other offerings. And when the children of the house, the other children who are of course always good but maybe not so good at times, when maybe through the rest of the day some of the other children misbehave, she could still look to that windowsill and see the offerings of the child who offered out of love and the purest of love and continue to be consoled. So when we reflect upon the ordinary human experience, we can see a reflection of the experience of our Father in heaven and what it is like for him to receive our ordinary human offerings. The offerings that the world does not recognise as having any value whatsoever. And these offerings which all of us here at some stage will have to give to God every day, maybe it's a simple smile that we have offered to somebody, maybe just walking out of a store, and somebody who seems to be rather glum or maybe depressed. Our offering that day, among many others no doubt, was a smile, a kind word. And that kind word, that offering, might be all that God needed to bring some light and some hope into the life of a person who could be possibly quite desperate. And imagine the gratitude of God when he sees that kind of offering coming his way. That's the kind of thing that God uses if we're prepared to give to him. Or maybe the offering we give to our Father in heaven is that of a day's service as a mother, as a father, as a single person, as a priest or religious. Any of these vocations and more, where we offer our service and what we have to do for the people we are called to serve in our respective roles, we offer that to God each day, and he takes it, and he uses it, and indeed he is grateful. Or maybe the offering might be a harsh word we have received, or maybe somebody who has told a lie about us, some suffering we have to offer to our Father, or a physical illness we offer to our Father in heaven. Tremendous consolation it gives to our Father to receive these offerings. But this is to name just a few. That's only a short list, and every one of us here could make a long list of the kinds of things we give to our Father in heaven. And as Anne mentioned in her talk just before in the church, she mentioned the gratitude that Jesus must have experienced when he looked at John, when he saw John by his side. It is the very same gratitude that Jesus experiences for each one of us here who are prepared to commit ourselves to him and to do our bit to serve him in our day. Imagine the gratitude Jesus experienced when he met the women of Jerusalem, or the gratitude he experienced towards Simon of Cyrene, even though reluctant in what he was called to do. Jesus surely was grateful. And this gratitude is a divine attribute. We are not the ones who invented gratitude. God, imagine the all-powerful, grateful to us mere creatures for what we have to offer him. And yet, most assuredly, he is grateful. But like most of us, we don't always experience the fruit of our offerings to God. We don't know that smile we offered to somebody, maybe without even thinking about it, that it was used to such great effect by God. We just don't know always the great fruit of the labours that we put in the vineyard every day. But today is a day to be reassured and to be encouraged that Jesus Christ, our Father in heaven, see all of our offerings and everything we give him, and truly indeed they are most certainly grateful. And when we die and we go to receive our reward in heaven, we can anticipate the great delight that Jesus will experience in bringing us through every one of the offerings that we have given to him in our lifetime, we will be glad. We will be happy we serve the Lord. We will experience tremendous joy that we offered up everything to him every day. And he will not grow tired in lavishing gratitude on us. Imagine the gratitude of a grateful God. So if you experience discouragement, and all of us do, today is a day to be encouraged. Encouraged in what we have said yes to in following Jesus Christ. Because he sees it all. He takes it all in. And indeed, he's truly grateful. So that's the first spiritual practice that the Lord has asked us to renew our commitment to, that of the daily offering and pledging our allegiance to him. The second spiritual practice is 1 hour of Eucharistic adoration each week. Now I'm sure already you might be saying, okay, I'm doing that already, and this is good. Many of us are already engaging in these practices through our spirituality. And Jesus says in volume 2, just to read you a quote from it, about adoration and what he hopes to do in this if we are but prepared to present ourselves to him for adoration. He says, I am going to share my deepest secrets with you. I am going to remove the veil from the tabernacle as never before. I want you to know me. I want you to know me in my miraculous form of the consecrated host. So Jesus has plans for us. He does not invite us to spend an hour with him each week to waste time. Jesus does not waste the time, and we surely can't view spending time with Jesus as a waste either. Because when we present ourselves to the Lord for adoration before the Blessed Sacrament, the Lord is busy at work. He is constantly working on our souls. Now we might think, well, I'm not very attentive, I don't have a great attention span, and I find it difficult to even stay awake sometimes. The Lord is busy when we are asleep even. So it is all that we need to do is just to commit ourselves to some time with him. He asks just 1 hour. We'll probably find after a period of time that 1 hour, goodness, 1 hour is just not enough. We may even find ourselves wanting to do more. Just to offer you a word from Climbing the Mountain, it's the same book again, where Anne talks about Eucharistic adoration. In the back she says that each Eucharistic chapel is like a heavenly porthole through which comes light for a dark world. So that's just a very good expression of what we have available to us and what the Lord wants to give to us in this sacrament and in this practice of adoration. And then she says, I sometimes feel so distracted in prayer that I may as well be asleep. This no longer upsets me, as I know that Jesus is working away in my soul, regardless of my struggles. I once apologized to Jesus and he said, be at peace. When your mind wanders, I go with you. It is good for me to see where you go. So of course, again, as Anne reminded us that the Lord is with us, what that means is that he never leaves us and he goes with us even when our mind wanders in adoration. And in adoration, we are called upon to build up a thing called dependency. Now we all know, we hear this word dependency, and generally in the world, dependency is a bad thing. We hear of dependency on drugs, on alcohol. We hear of unhealthy dependencies on relationships and all manner of dependencies. But the thing about all these dependencies, as we well know, none of them are healthy. To overly rely on something which cannot truly offer us the support we need is not a good thing. But what Jesus wants us to do in this sacrament is to begin to depend on him, the only one whom we can truly depend on, to build up a complete and total dependency on him. And what we'll find after a period of time, I think, is that we will begin to say, Jesus, I have to accomplish this task. I can't do it. Jesus, I'm asking you to do this task.